Ten Network, we bring you volleyball from Extreme Arena in Coralville, Iowa, the new home of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Vicki Brown has said that people have been asking her for months, how do they get tickets into this beautiful new arena? Tonight they get the number 5 ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers, Lexi Sun and company, just 2 losses, and they are 2 games back in the loss column at the top of the Big Ten conference standings. We bring you Big Ten volleyball, powered by Unleaded 88 from Coralville, Iowa tonight. It's the 5th-ranked Cornhuskers and the Iowa Hawkeyes looking for that first ever win against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Connor Onion, Michelle McMahon, and Michelle, it was a split last weekend for Nebraska at home against a top 15 opponent, Ohio State. John Cook, their head coach, says they are plenty fired up coming into this midweek match after a loss Saturday.
And to your point, Connor, I guarantee there's no one more fired up in that locker room than the setter, Nicklin Hames, regarding that loss. And here's what I'm looking for tonight. I'm watching for distribution. We know what the outsides are capable of. We have Maddie Kubik and Lexi Sun carrying the load there. I'm watching the right sides. We all know about this in the country, and I want to see how they respond to adversity. Somebody has to step up and take over this position and start producing on the pin. That's what John Cook is going to be looking for. On the other side for Iowa, how about versatility? That's the word that comes to mind when we talk about a player like Courtney Bazzario, who's 6'5", by the way. So not only is she basically a brick wall on the block, she's so good with her hand setting. They run a 6'2", so we're going to see her hitting, setting, blocking, passing, doing all of the things that she does best. I really love to watch her play. It's kind of a rare scenario. You see a player like her right now in this era of volleyball, and she does an incredible job with that role.
Two pieces of history at stake tonight, Michelle, for Courtney Bazzario and Iowa. Their first televised match in here. They've never beaten Nebraska. They've got a shot to do that. Lineups are next. River Landing Extreme Arena, first match on BTN in Iowa volleyball history in this venue, and they get the 5th-ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers tonight. Here are the starting lineups, powered by Unleaded 88. Nicklin Hames is leading the Big Ten right now in assists at 11%. And Jazz Sweet, it's the evergreen question right now for John Cook in Nebraska. Are they going to get some more production from that opposite position? She's in there tonight, the big 3 for them, Kubik, Sun. And in the middle, it's Difference. 2-setter system for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Bailey Ortega is a true freshman setting, and Courtney Bazzario also sets in the 6-2 for Vicki Brown. Adina Schmidt was on fire heading into the last match against Maryland, and she'll like to keep it going tonight. Schlegel is the only upperclassman in the back, and they've gotten a lot more out of their middles this year for the Iowa Hawkeyes. So we told you a chance for Iowa not only to play in this venue for the first time on national TV, but a good opportunity against a top 5 opponent, Michelle, to beat the Cornhuskers. They've never done that in program history.
No, but they kept it close back in 2019. Yes, it was a couple of years ago now with the past season getting canceled or postponed, rather. But this is an amazing volleyball arena. I mean, it's fun to play in every volleyball arena in the Big Ten. They have so many distinctions across the board, but when it's brand new like this and it's designated for the sport of volleyball, that makes it fun on both sides to be playing in this match.
Hey, first thing Vicki Brown, the Iowa head coach, said to us when we talked to her yesterday is, Connor, Michelle, you guys are really missing out. We got to get you guys here in person.
I'm ready. Sign me up.
She said, fall 2021, we're going to make it happen.
We road tripping together, Connor?
Hey, let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
You already volunteered me to drive, so.
I like being the passenger seat. Let's go.
Well, Nebraska coming off that split against Ohio State. 2 back of Wisconsin in the loss column with 6 to play starting tonight. Should be a good ride the final 3 weeks of the Big Ten season. And Adina Schmidt, we told you, she was hot going into last weekend, and a good start. She has the first kill for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, I don't think John Cook's going to be too happy about that serve-receive pass out of their libero on Nebraska's side, but just getting the nerves out, point 1.
We told you an emphasis for John Cook in Nebraska to get some more production from the opposite on that right side, and Jazz Sweet answers the call for John Cook. 2 decades as the Nebraska head coach. Interesting conversation about motivation and creative tactics with him this week. Get into that a little later on. Some of the videos he showed his team to hype him back up after the loss to Ohio State Saturday. Bailey Ortega, the true freshman setter. And the 6-2 for Iowa. And back-to-back kills for Nebraska. That one for Maddie Kubik. Vicki Brown, graduate of Illinois. Her last season as a player was 2007. Played for the great coach Don Harden. Now her second year as the head coach with the Hawkeyes. She's got a very young team. Freshmen and sophomores. The service error from Kaylee Akana ties it up at 2 in the first set.
Yeah, this is something Nebraska has been struggling with lately, is just getting off to a little bit of a slower start. I see a little bit of that here tonight. A couple of miscues on the passing situation, and we have a missed serve. Look for them to get a little bit of a jolt offensively.
So used to playing in front of 8,000. When they come on a road venue like this, 5,000, 6,000. And Lexi Sun with the kill out of the back row.
If there's anyone you need to get a jolt out of your offense from, it's Lexi Sun out of the back row. That's what Nebraska does so well. They have so many attacking options in the front row, and then you throw in the back row attacking position. It's really confusing for the Iowa block.
It was a loss on Saturday for Nebraska, but Lexi Sun did have a season high 22 kills. That was one off her career high. And she can attack you from all angles, this time from the front row. Lexi Sun with back-to-back kills.
She's got the hot hand. Keep dishing her the ball. They know what she's able to do on the pin, and what I'm, again, looking for in this match, I'd like to reiterate, is how much they start mixing up the distribution. Do they become too predictable on the outside, keep kicking it out to Lexi Sun, or do they start getting more options involved?
Of course, a very good option in the middle for them with Lauren Stivrins as well. Back to Sun here, and she's got 3 in a row. You said hot hand.
And sometimes you don't need to be balanced when you have the hot hand like that. I like this little nifty dig here by Kaylee Akana. Just throwing her hand out from Hawaii. They're really known to be good defenders when they come from Hawaii, but that's a great swing by Lexi Sun. She does a nice job of just slightly rolling that above the blocker's hand.
Ames had the block touch, and then she sets up that lethal slide to Lauren Stivrins.
That's what she's known for. Lauren Stivrins is so quick with her feet. John Cook even told us before this, he has not had a middle attacker as quick as her with her feet. Vicki Brown on the other side for Iowa said it's the contact point and her range of where she's able to hit that slide, which is what makes it so difficult to defend.
That was the biggest concern for Vicki Brown. You said, what concerns you about the Huskers? Obviously a lot, but first thing that Vicki Brown brought up was that slide for Stivrins.
Yeah, she's so good. I mean, it's really, Nicklin Hames can throw it back. They have such good chemistry, too, between the two of them. She can throw it back in any position, and she can count on Stivrins for getting a kill, no matter where it is on the net. That's that range that we talk about. She's able to get kills from a variety of places across the net.
Stivrins, #1 in the conference in hitting efficiency, hitting .471 and a perfect start. 2 swings, 2 kills.
Love that. And I love the choice for Nicklin Hames to go back to Stivrins. And now the predicament for the Iowa block, Stivrins going in the back row, so it's not a concern now. But when she goes back in the front row, watch the block hold just a half second longer with the middles, which opens up Lexi Sun then on the outside.
You've got a real decision to make.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
Those two. So point for Iowa. Hey, it's another B1G block party. Of course it is. It always is. Hashtag B1G block party. What should we ask for tonight? We asked for dogs last time. This is on you, Michelle.
I mean, I'm still pleased with the dog train, if you are. I love seeing all the... Maybe we could do animals. See what other kind of animals people are packing back home.
All
maybe
inclusive.
Cats? Should we do cats? More of a dog person, but why not? Let's get the cats in there.
Fish people, welcome to. Maddie Kubik with the swing up the back row. So it's not only Lexi Sun that you're going to get from the pin and the back row, but Kubik, a 6-rotation player, is having a great sophomore year.
Yeah, and John Cook made a great point about this, too, with that L2 position. He said that's the hardest role to play in volleyball because you have so much of the load. You're one of the key passers and serve receive. You're taking a lot of the attacking loads. A lot of those balls you're getting out of system, so they're not great sets all the time. She does a really good job in that position.
Well, they've got some middles on the other side of the net, too. Hannah Clayton with that kill.
That's what Iowa needs to do to be able to have a chance against Nebraska in this one. That was a great pass and serve receive. Courtney Bizzario has all 3 attacking options. This is the unique part about running that 6'2". Bizzario is so physical. She's so tall. She can reach up for that set at such a high position.
You said it, 6'5". That's unique. As Lexi Sun has the attack here, and 2 points in a row for Iowa. The initial plan for Iowa was to have Bizzario be a right side hitter, but all 3 seniors opted out for Iowa. That forced them into a 6'2". And Bizzario has become a triple-double threat. Bunks out of the back here, and Schmidt with another kill here in the first set.
And that's that Nebraska defense that's going to get you in trouble. And that's a great effort by both defenders. They're crossing. One's going in front, one's going in the back. We trained for that all season long. And that's a nice kill, though, for Iowa. They know they need to earn their chances. This Nebraska defense is not going to give up much. You're going to have to get those second and third chances to stay in this game.
There you go. You got a tough dig from Boyer. And then Iowa ties this up at 8 in the first set.
Iowa, I love it. They're playing with nothing to lose. They really don't have anything to lose in this matchup. Why not go out and beat the top 5 team in the country?
Jazz Sweet off that right side one more time. Her second kill this first set.
That's a nice swing by Jazz Sweet. Notice she's a lefty on that pin. That ball doesn't have to cross her face, so she's able to swing at it at a little bit of a faster pace than if she were a righty, and that changes up the angle from a blocking standpoint. So that was a really smart play to hit that deep corner shot.
Tough dig from Hames, the setter. And then Sweet pushes it long.
I think confidence is going to be a big thing for that right side position. Now that it's a little bit under the microscope, nobody likes being in that pressure-filled role of mentally not wanting to make a mistake. So what I would love to see from Jazz Sweet and anyone who embodies that right side position is just go out there, play fun, play free, have fun. Easier said than done.
Right. And I mean, there's competition there with Riley Zune, the sophomore unseeded Jazz Sweet for the starting position on that right side at a couple of different points throughout the season. But they need to get one, if not both, those right sides going.
And it's really a group effort, right? In order to get a good set on that right side attacking pin, you have to have a good pass. You have to have a good set from the good pass. There's a lot of moving parts that have to go well for that position to work.
When we talked to John Cook yesterday, the Nebraska head coach, he said we've got like 25 different potential solutions on our whiteboard in our locker room trying to figure that position out.
Well, if there's anyone that's going to crack that, it's John Cook.
That's right. There's Kubik splitting the back row, and Nebraska with the slim lead here in the first set.
Love that swing by Maddie Kubik. She's got such a big approach. She sees the block so well. That time doing a nice job going over the middle instead of trying to get through the tree that is Courtney Bizzario on the block.
Kenzie Knuckles with the service for Nebraska. And Amaya Jones with one that cracks to the back row.
Love that swing by Amaya Jones. Really good approach on that slide attack. It's a great set as well to kick her off on a no blocking situation. She could have put that ball wherever she wanted. There was no Nebraska block up on Jones. That was a great set. Credit to the freshman setter, Bailey Ortega, putting her in that spot.
With the back set, and it is the two setters teaming up. Bizzario puts it down.
I love that Courtney Bizzario is just completely embracing that role, but Maddie Kubik has been late now on that block. Twice, I think she's assuming the ball is either going to the middle or to the outside. Just kicked her a little bit too far inside. That was a really smart set again. Bailey Ortega, just a freshman, really good vision.
Oh, and then a big block for Jones and Schmidt on the pin.
A little bit of the momentum is all it takes for this Iowa team to get on a roll here against the struggling Cornhuskers here in the first set. What a block. Solid technique. 4 hands all in sync. Tight cores, tight hands all across the net. Well done.
Iowa with a little bit of belief here in the first set, but right back to Maddie Kubik stopping another run for the Huskers.
I think she knew she needed to make up for those 2 miscues on the block, and she does a really good job of putting the ball away. I mean, when you get the ball to Maddie Kubik, you know you're going to get a kill. Same with Lexi Sun. That's what makes Nebraska so good. You know their pins are always reliable.
You know this is a match that she would have a lot of people here from just down the road in the Des Moines area from Iowa. And a touch there off the swing from Schmidt, and the lead back to 2 for Iowa. Maya Jones trying to stretch the set 1 lead for the Hawkeyes, but Stivrins snuck it in there down the middle.
A little bit of an unorganized play for Nebraska. The serve receive right now is not where it needs to be for Nebraska volleyball standards. Iowa's serving very well, but that was a miscue. Great job by Lauren Stivrins, staying athletic and just keeping that ball in play and forcing Iowa into the air.
And that's interesting, too, because Nebraska's coming off their best passing weekend of the season against Ohio State. Schmidt keeps coming at you. And Iowa to our first break with the lead over the number 5 ranked Cornhuskers. Volleyball on the Big Ten Network is presented by Unleaded 88, the clean-burning fuel choice that's engine smart, and Earth Kinds. A little glimpse into what's been a couple years in the making. Extreme Arena making its debut on Big Ten Network tonight. Ribbon cutting was back in September. They played their first match here on February 5th against Indiana. And Michelle, you were you're remote, but kind of gawking pre-match over what a beautiful facility this is.
Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. I mean, especially the fact that it's designated, specifically to the sport. It's really incredible. Credit to Iowa Athletics for investing in their program.
They'll play hockey in here. They're getting minor league hockey in this facility. There's a monster truck tour that's going through here in a couple weeks. I mean, it's a multi-purpose facility, but you said it perfect for volleyball.
Yeah, what I meant by that too is it's so much more intimate. Like it's closer. The stands are closer on top of the players than in Carver Hawkeye Arena, where it was so spread out. It was just too big for volleyball.
Yeah, it can hold a little over 5,000. Hope to get the fans back in the fall. And the attack error for Nebraska puts Iowa back up, too. You've been impressed so far with the serving for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, I think they're winning the serve and pass battle right now. They're putting themselves in the best position to succeed because they're not only getting Nebraska out of system and then ganging up on them blocking-wise, but they're doing a really nice job of putting their setters in the best position to be able to put their hitters in a position to succeed and get kills against Nebraska. And they're exploiting the Nebraska block right now.
Another tough serve. This one from Adina Schmidt. And Lexi Sun puts it down anyway.
To your point, Connor, that was a really good serve by Schmidt and one that you would think Iowa would have the advantage on. But Lexi Sun is so good in these out-of-position plays, and when it's out of system like that, she's so good at finding ways to still get kills. But that's only going to work till a certain point. They really got to start finding their rhythm here in crisper volleyball fashion.
Hannah Clayton with a big swing down the middle, and that's through. So Iowa hanging on to this 2-point lead out of the timeout.
And one of the advantages of running a 6'2" or a 6'2", excuse me, is that you have 3 physical hitters in the front row at all times. So you're more stationary when it comes to blocking, and you're able to have a more physical presence on the offense as well.
Hannah Clayton is 6'2", by the way, so you're on it. Nebraska right back with Lexi Sun, and she'll serve it. It was an efficient start for Nebraska. 8 kills and 8 attempts. Then they cooled off in the back half of that first segment before the timeout. And into the cross court. That is out off Audrey Black. might have been a touch. So the green card comes out from Vicky Brown. They will use their first challenge on this swing from Black.
Has to be indisputable. From that angle, it looks like... I don't know. I think it went through it. I think Kayla Caffey was a little bit late to that block, and I'm not sure she got a touch on that.
Yeah, her being late probably actually helped Nebraska. I'm with you. I don't think she got a piece of that.
I think John Cook's probably not pleased that she was late to the block, to be honest.
Right.
But I don't think that I don't think she was timed up enough in sync on that play to even, I mean, she's late getting up. She was on the way up as the ball's on its way down. I don't think it grabbed.
Didn't get sun on the way by, did it?
Unless that's what they're... No, did it get...
The ponytail on the flip?
I don't see a touch on the block unless the ref sees something I don't. Now, the ponytail is a different story, but...
If you really want to get into it.
That's the line judge is
right
there for those reasons, and if he didn't see a touch on that down the line, I mean, it's toughest to call the fingers at the net when blockers are up. It is really hard to tell unless the ball makes a significant change in trajectory. Even as a defensive player, if you're trying to dig that ball down the line, you have to make a split-second decision on, did she touch that? Did she not touch it? Even if the ball's flying out of bounds, you thought your blocker maybe touched it, you're going to make your effort to go for it. But that's a tough one. This is a really close call. I don't envy the refs in this situation.
There's the touch on the block. There's potential...
I don't see a finger go back on Kayla's right hand. Do you?
No, I didn't. The ball will stand. But you also go one step back of that. Another question is, was that ball in? From one of our angles, it looked like that could have been in, but not enough evidence there. And
yeah, I think it was out from what I could see, but that's why we're here and they're there, yeah?
I'm just relaying info from the control room, all right? So tied up at 17 in set one. And a punch through the block for Black. And no swing off on that trip for Nebraska. And then Black is wide.
Nice dig by Kenzie Knuckles, keeping this ball alive. That's a really tough ball to dig right down the line. You barely have any time to react to it. Keeping that Nebraska defense and offense alive.
She was in the middle of a couple of super impressive rallies late in that Ohio State match on Saturday. 4 or 5 touches on a couple of different points. She got the overpass there, and Nebraska doesn't pay. Jones mishit it.
Nice dig, Kenzie Knuckles. I really love when the Littles do good things defensively. We love to give the Littles love. They don't get enough of that, Connor. Great dig by Kenzie Knuckles.
All right, more little talk after this. Or small talk, whatever it is. Nebraska by 2. Well, Nebraska has made a habit out of starting slow. Ohio State got them in 5 the other night, and they've started slow here tonight at Coralville. This was action from that second match. Ohio State took the first set and then won the back end of it to get the weekend split. Nebraska and the Buckeyes their first loss of the season on Friday night, but interesting to look at that home column, Michelle.
Absolutely. It's almost like the road is what was home court advantage for Nebraska. I mean, there's no doubt about it. There's no excuse for not having, home court advantage. Obviously, this year is different, but when it comes to Nebraska volleyball, that's the reason you go to Nebraska. They are packed night in, night out for volleyball games. They are their 7th man on the court, and it really is a game changer when they're not there. So it's deflating when you're playing at home and there's no fans.
Got a double contact on the Huskers there, but yeah, Nebraska, 7 years in a row, they've led the country in attendance. I loved what John Cook said to us. He said, Imagine going to a concert. You show up, you're all hyped up, you think there's going to be a big crowd, and then it's just you and the musician. Just you and the stage.
I mean, it'd be kind of cool to go to a concert like that, but no, to your point, it is absolutely deflating. It's like a letdown.
Well, good first set here from Jazz Sweet on that right side.
Put a smile on, Jazz. That was a good kill. I love to see it down the line with the lefty. Last minute thumb up swing. I love it. Love to see more of that here on the outside pin. She's locked in and focused.
But she's not going to give you that smile. You're right. She's determined tonight.
Hey, you know what? Can't blame her.
Knuckles with another dig for Nebraska. Bump set here from Boyer to Bazzario. And the heavy swing is through and down for Courtney Bazzario. Carrying the biggest load of anybody in this conference. 2.5 kills per set. 4.5 assists per set. Getting involved in the block a little bit.
It's impressive how quickly she's able to switch gears from setting back to attacking to blocking. A lot of hats to wear in one match.
Well, Maddie Kubik got it past the big 6'5" frame of Bazzario there. Kalea Kana, the leader in service aces for Nebraska. Schmidt was turned away, and then that point went awry quickly for Iowa.
Smart play by Nicklin Hames. Knowing she's undersized in this matchup, she sees the overpass opportunity, goes high hands off the block off of Maya Jones. The veteran play from the veteran setter.
Don't get too many chances to wind up like that. As Nicklin Hames is the setter. And Nebraska played from behind in the middle of this set. Trying to close it out up 3. And that's off through Bazzario. And Nebraska's built it up to 4. So Iowa will try to salvage this set. They were up by a couple, but Nebraska has gone on a run late. Told you it's a B1G block party, and let's see what we came up with. We're going to see these for the first time with the people.
Are there cat pictures or dog pictures?
Or no.
What do we got? Oh, a selfie.
Human pictures.
Heyo.
Yeah, there we go.
St. Patty's Day, but in this house we only wear red on game day. I love the Husker fans.
Nice.
They're so awesome. Go Big Red. Okay. Living in Iowa City, we've been looking forward to this game for so long. Hey-o, let's go Huskers. No dogs here, though. It's okay. You have really cute kids. House divided. Go Big Red. I love it. We've got an Iowa fan on our right. Well, the baby's wearing a Nebraska cap and an Iowa sweater. I think we got babies tonight, Connor. Oh, there's another one. Well, the
no dogs, but babies are fine.
Well, get your dog in the photo with your baby. Come on, Jill.
Crawl, walks. Oh, yes.
They start them young in Lincoln, Nebraska. I tell you what. That's why they're so good every year. They start them like this. They're training.
We were talking to John Cook about his grandbaby. There's a picture. There's a picture somewhere of his grandkid already holding a volleyball.
I know.
Only a couple months old.
Baby volleyball.
Yeah.
We got to get a picture of that here somewhere.
By the way, you need to keep reading those tweets. I'd let you read an audiobook. That was
Thanks, Connor.
That was great VO work.
For an extra charge. You can have an audiobook.
That is your assignment the rest of the night.
Done and done.
All right, so Iowa took the timeout. Now up against it, down 4. They had a couple of different 2-point leads. Going to steal a set off the number 5 team of the country. Now they'll have to do it from behind. To Bazzario. Lexi Sun had the first contact. Long block put up on Kubik. 2 tough digs on this point on Bazzario swings. Then Lexi Sun smokes it out of the back.
That was almost a dig, though, for Iowa. That was a rip out of the back row for Lexi Sun. You can tell she's feeling the heat. Take a look at this arm swing. Bam! That is a snipe. Wow. Love to see it.
She thought it was down initially. She didn't realize that there was the...
I know. Well, if I took a swing like that, I wouldn't think that everyone's going to dig it either. But Maddie Slagle did a really nice job there.
And on set point, an ace for Nebraska. So it was a little bit wobbly for the Huskers in the middle of set one, but at the end, you look back, you got a 6-point win. So they take the first one on the road. Nebraska 25-19 at set one.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Big Ten Conference and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Big Ten Conference.
Nebraska takes set one. They win it by 6, coming back from a mid-set deficit. Time for the State of Success, brought to you by State Farm, and the Nebraska seniors are tonight's State of Success.
Well, these two are a 1-2 punch, especially when they're in the front row together. But Lexi Sun is always impressive. She's so steady and consistent, and that's really what sets her apart on the pin for Nebraska. But watch where she's versatile. She comes out of the back row just as fiery as she does in the front row. She always has a double block up against her wherever she's hitting it at, especially because she's taking over a huge part of the load, and she does a nice job of that. How about this different slide, though? She comes from every angle of the court. She attacks in so quick with those feet. The range, Vicki Brown was talking about it. It's that range. So when you see Stivrins kick out behind the setter on the slide attacking, guess what? Lexi Sun then is wide open on the pin. It alleviates a little bit of that blocking pressure, because if I'm an Iowa blocker right now, if I'm in the middle, I'm going to start cheating towards Lexi Sun. But then when I see Stivrins in the front row, I'm like, okay, now I have to stay honest with that slide. So it makes them take an extra half second or second of time to decide where they go with their feet from a blocker standpoint, which opens up each other on the pin. And then also, we'd love to see Nicklin Hames get more involved in the offense as well.
Well, you see those numbers, 444 and 800 for Sun and Stivrins. And John Cook pointed it out to us yesterday. If we get some right side production, those numbers that are already huge with the efficiency for Sun and Stivrins, those are just going up. And Jazz Sweet had a good first set.
Yeah, that's why the focus exactly, Connor, is on that right side attacking position. They just need somebody to really step in and own that role, because other volleyball programs can get away with less numbers on their right side attacking pins. Not for a program like Nebraska that has national championship expectations, and that's why the pressure is so high for that position to be filled. But it alleviates when you have all your attackers going. It just frees you up so much from a blocking standpoint.
Iowa played from ahead and a big chunk of that first set. Took a lead into the first timeout. Try to steal the second set off of the number 5 team in the country.
Nice dig.
Good rally we got going here in our first point of the second set. And Bizzario says enough of that.
Good put away by Bizzario, but check out the dig by Lexi Sun, just throwing an arm out to keep this ball alive. And then it's the 6'5" Courtney Bizzario on a solo block situation. That's not going to cut it against her. She does such a nice job utilizing those angles. She's a gamer.
Remember, hitting and setting in the 6'2", Courtney Bizzario. Also the leader in service aces on this Iowa team as well. Knuckles with the bump set for Kubik. Another tough dig for Slagle. And it got Schmidt a swing, but Stivrins is right there with Hames for the block.
Love the defense, though, by Iowa. Great block by Lauren Stivrins to finish the play, but that's a nice sprawl-out dig. All 6'5" of her. That's a far way to fall down, by the way. I used to have teammates that were 6'4" that would barely touch the gym in terms of digging. That's a great dig, and a nice job by Lauren Stivrins, ultimately. Discipline with her hands on that block.
Usually you hear coaches say with their taller players, we're trying to get her down on the floor. No problem.
I used to have a teammate that was 6'4". She was a middle blocker, and anytime we'd set her in the back row, she'd sprawl out and call herself the polar bear. Because that's what it would look like when all of her body parts would be sliding across the floor unwillingly.
Hands first on all fours. Oh, that's great. A heavy dose of Schmidt to begin this set for Iowa. And she'll get the kill on the double contact against Nebraska. Nebraska saying that the first touch was a block, so the second contact should have been a violation. That's what Lexi Sun was mouthing there to the up ref. Stivrins wrapping around again and pounds another one down, her 5th kill.
What a swing. The Stivrins slide, she should trademark it because she can pretty much hit every single angle on that slide. What a swing. That was a high contact point down the line.
You got the alliteration working, you got the ring to it. And a solo block for Caffey in the middle.
That's a boost that Caffey needed in the middle. Strong discipline with her feet in those hands, staying with her middle blocker. Very disciplined, not cheating over. Great block.
Grad transfer from Missouri, Kayla Caffey. And another ace serve for Nebraska. So Stivrins just hitting 833 tonight. Now adds in an ace.
That's a tough serve to pass. The jump float hits off her hand and just very deceptive with where it's going. Watch the trajectory of where it goes. First it starts direct, then it tails off at the end and it floats left, right, all within a split second.
He's got Iowa out of system again. And Lexi Sun had players leaning in the back. She got another kill.
Have another look at Lauren Stivrins on that serve. Just a pop off of that hand. You see how much it's a struggle for Schmidt to pass that ball because it tails off at the last second. Watch it float right off her hand. Boom.
Well, handled decently that time, but the serving run will continue for Stivrins.
That's another asset of Lauren Stivrins that maybe isn't talked about as much as her serve. So good, so consistent, deep float, really nice.
Stivrins will beat the line when we come back. Nebraska up 5. Hey, volleyball fans, there's a new Instagram account dedicated to you, at B1G Volleyball. You can follow at B1G Volleyball for the best Big Ten highlights, videos, and images straight from the court to your feed. Join the community. Follow at B1G Volleyball on Instagram right now. This is the best score of any highlight package you'll ever hear. NFL
Is
theme music.
football back?
Yes. And you had Riley Zune tucking it and running, bringing that thing out from the locker room before the game, getting it warmed up for Nebraska.
I love it. You know what? I really think there's some technique to that helps with volleyball because when you have the throwing motion of a football, it's also a similar like snap at the top of a volleyball swing. It might be for some training purposes.
Okay. All right. I was kind of waiting for somebody to do the Dak Prescott hip thing.
It was like, I was looking at them throw it, and it was like they were throwing it up more than they were direct. And that's what I was thinking. Maybe this is a John Cook coaching thing with the football. Or maybe it's just fun for warm-ups. I don't know. We're going to have to find out.
Next Zoom call. There's your first question. That swing from Caffey is long, and Iowa's taken 2 in a row since they took a timeout.
And is Scott Frost involved in the training? That's what I want to know.
Get Adrian Martinez involved, too? Lexi Sun shoves it past the block, and that ends the quick run for Iowa. So 8 kills already for Lexi Sun on 12 swings. She's hitting 500 on her way to a double-double with 7 digs. Nicklin Hames with the service, and the overpass goes down.
Hate to see a miscommunication that on Nebraska's side, but Iowa will take it at this point, getting some momentum under their belt. Looks like Cappy and Sun were both going up for the same ball. Then they both backed off at the same time, thinking the other would grab it.
Cappy off the tape and, well, stuck it in there. Kayla Cappy cooled off a little bit against Ohio State over the weekend, hit below 200 in both matches over the weekend. Previous 3 before that, she was unstoppable. 550 over 3 matches.
So good.
There's Jones, the middle for Iowa. And Cappy off the net puts that one down.
Looks like she's getting back to that original stat line, as you mentioned. That's a sick arm swing from her. You just see her swipe it across her body. Just a really quick flick of the wrist. Love that set, too, by Nicklin Hames.
Knuckles down to the floor, kept it up. And then Kubik inside the line.
Love that you pointed out that dig, Connor. That's what kept that ball in play and kept this ball alive. A great dig by Kenzie Knuckles, sprawling out, doing what the liberos are expected to do, and that's a nice finish by Kubik. Seeing that Courtney Bizzario was just slightly late on the block, she has only a very limited window down the line, and she takes full advantage.
Working with you makes it impossible not to pay attention to the littles in the back.
You got to give them credit. They touch every ball. They start every play.
Well, Boyer got one from, or Boyer sent one to Bizzario, and then Bizzario finished it.
That's a nice set by Ortega as well. Yeah, definitely got the touch on there. If there was any speculation down the line, if there was a touch on that ball, that was a great swing by Courtney Bizzario. It's the luxury of being 6'5", Connor, is you can make last-minute adjustments when the block isn't there in front of you.
That's what's fun about the 2 setters for Iowa. As Iowa takes another point, but you got Bizzario in the 6'2" at 6'5", and then you got Bailey Ortega at 5'9". So you've got 8 inches in difference between the 2 setters. It's kind of a fun side by side to look at. Sweet had it blocked, but out off of Iowa. So Jazz Sweet, 4 kills.
That's great news for her and for Nebraska volleyball, getting that position going a little bit here, and the distribution. Just finding that trust between Hames and Sweet and whoever's on that opposite pin.
Well, there's that combo. It's Ortega to Bizzario one more time.
Yeah, Bizzario has the hot hand. Keep feeding her on that line. She's doing a really nice job of seeing the block in front of her, and at the last second swiping down that outside hand. Getting the tool.
Tough serve from Amaya Jones. Free chance now for Iowa. And tough touch from Slagle. And the double contact gives Nebraska a 5-point lead.
Yeah, for Iowa, Bailey Ortega's not as tall as Courtney Bizzario, obviously. So in that setting position, you have to change the trajectory of the pass. So that can be a little tricky when you're switching between a setter that's not as physical to one that's 6'5". You got to work your tempo a little bit. That time was just a little bit too high, causing the double contact.
And she splits the back past Lexi Sun.
She's so tall she can hit over the block. It's almost like a Dana Recchi feel where for Wisconsin, if you're familiar, she's swinging above the block. So it doesn't really matter at that point what kind of block you're putting up. I mean, you do have to seal it and you have to put 4 hands across solid, but really as a defense, you kind of have to suck in a little bit because you know she's hitting those angles above the block.
We're going to fire Dana Repke up, get her to start setting some balls.
Yeah.
A high set for Kubik, and she dusts off that point.
Yeah, once again, going back to that L2 conversation that John Cook brought up, this set is maybe average. It's hanging in the air for a long time. She's up against a double block. usually every time, her and Lexi Sun, and she does a nice job finding a way to put the ball down. Despite a big block ahead of her.
Schmidt had the pass and the swing. And then Lexi Sun down to the floor. On second contact. And looks like they had a net call there.
Yeah, that's a tough ball for Hames to even get to. That pass is well beyond where her base setting position is. Not a whole lot she could have done about that one.
Sun, and the block is there for the Hawkeyes. Reens leading the charge on the double.
Great block by Reens. Just ball was a little bit too far outside, a little too high. It looked like the tempo was off. Lexi Sun was already on her way in, so miscommunication there with where they thought the tempo of the set was supposed to be.
And that ball's out from Sun. Hames had to go a long way off the net to center, and then it was airmailed by Sun.
9 kills for Lexi Sun, and it's not even near over here in the second set.
Her and Kubik leading Nebraska right now. Kubik with 7. Return came from Kubik. Black didn't sneak it past Akana. And Stivrins, they got a touch on it.
Nice dig, good defense.
And Iowa staves off that point. For now, Stivrins coming right back at you. Iowa chance coming downhill now. And they do finish off the point. Hannah Clayton. So survival mode at first.
They deserve to win that point, Connor. Look at the defense. Laying out, just keeping the ball alive. Courtney Bizzario again, throwing her body on the floor, keeping this ball alive, and then they battle. They send a free ball over, and they get back, and they get right back to their second chance. That started with great defense.
That was the Big Ten standout presented by Auto Owners Insurance. And it keeps rolling for Iowa. Here they are, Michelle. This is a 1-point set after the ace by Schmidt. So there was life for the Hawkeyes in set 1. They led for a big chunk of the first set. Now they're within 1 in set 2. Hey, 2019 season feels like forever ago, but worth looking back the last time these two played because, Michelle, a lot of the personnel is the same.
It was, and it always helps to have those reference points of, hey guys, we're not that far off. Look, we were hanging with them then, we can hang with them now. I asked Vicki Brown about this, we both did. Do you use this footage to get your team pumped up for this game? She said, no, because it's a different team. We all remember what happened, but we want to focus on this season, the personnel we have. But this was a really close match for them to hang in there, and it really shows just how far Iowa volleyball has come. Like, they are progressing at a rapid pace. This year is weird for everybody, COVID, all the things. So you maybe take this one out of the way, but they're really doing a nice job building a program, and Vicki Brown is at the top of that.
You brought up the gaping hole in the win column for the Hawkeyes of the series history. 31 wins in a row for Nebraska, but Iowa had never even taken them to 5, so that was, maybe the start of a launching point for Vicki Brown in Iowa last year. All right, no comment from Michelle. I got the next couple of points, no worries.
I'm back.
Nebraska leading at 5-2, and Lexi Sun makes it a 3-point lead.
Just stunned by your knowledge, Connor, and what a play by Lexi's son. My goodness, you cannot leave her on a one-on-one situation. Looking at Hames like, oh my goodness, how do we get that one done? But we did.
She's laughing at your jokes as well.
She said it was coming fast. Pretty sure that's what I just heard.
Stivrins into the net. John Cook telling us his team plenty fired up coming in here to Coralville tonight. And they're going to need some help to win the Big Ten championship. 6 to play, including tonight. 2 back in the loss column of Wisconsin. Basically in a situation of win out and then get some help with some losses from the teams ahead of you. Block covered there by Bizzario. Down to the floor again at 6'5". And good hustle from Akana on the other side. Back row for Schmidt. And bombs away for Schmidt from that 10-foot line.
I love the fight in this Iowa team right now. There is no quit in this group. They do not care that they're playing the top 5 team in the country. They're going after it. Great swing by Hannah Schmidt. I love that set to keep the back row attack involved. Keep the Nebraska block on their toes. Woo, nice dig.
That was Boyer coming from the back to keep it alive. Another free ball chance for Nebraska on the flip by Jones. And Cappy chips it off the Jones block.
Great defense on both sides, though. Boyer laying out. Not a lot of balls are dropping without a cost at this point in this match. Points are at a premium here, but a great finish by Caffey. I really like the set by Nicklin Hames to mix up the tempo, to push her out just slightly, keep the tempo a little bit fast. The Iowa block, though, was there. They just were a little bit late. But that's the advantage of running that quick tempo. Pushed out a little bit. You catch the blockers off guard.
That one turned back away on the swing by Reens, and Caffey's in the middle of it again.
Caffey's finding a little bit of a hot hand here, getting a little bit of a streak. Perfect time to be doing so. She's so crucial to the block for Nebraska.
And not the prototypical monster middle blocker at 6 feet tall. A great leaper, Caffey.
Very fast.
She's got hands on that one again. And then right down to the floor for Caffey.
Not to mention the arm swing and the hang time. You watch, that was about maybe 2 seconds. Watch how high, watch how long she's in the air for. Whoop! And she hangs and she rips it.
Hang, take a look.
Really good vision, too. Smart.
Yep.
When you're in the air for that long, you can kind of take your pick of the angles you want to hit on the court, I'm imagining.
That was John Cook's first thought. Asked first thought, when you think of Caffey, he said hang time.
Yeah, it's true. Especially that long arm swing of hers.
Push out for Black on the outside, and that's Hames in the back, the setter.
Love the defense on both sides.
And the tap over the block is down for Iowa. Blythe Reens with the score.
It's an absolute grind to get a point right now. Have another look at this for a setter. That's a great play by Nicklin Hames. An even better rundown on the pin. That's so good by Jazz Sweet. What she's not doing on offense, she's making up for on defense. That was a great defensive effort, especially for a setter, because it's tempting to not play defense and to just run to the net and set the ball. But that was a great job by Nicklin Hames. Despite losing the point, Iowa going on a nice little run here.
And an ace serve from Bailey Ortega. She's right up there. Both of these setters can really serve for Iowa. Ortega is second on the team. That was her 15th ace on the year. And you've got a timeout for Nebraska. So John Cook and Nebraska will regroup. They're up 2, trying to hang on and go up 2-0. Volleyball on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by State Farm. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Alyssa Klosterman is now on staff at Iowa. The former Iowa setter finished 11th in Iowa history in career assists, just over 1,000. Her last season was in 2016, and good to see her back in the Iowa City area, technically Coralville now, at Extreme Arena.
It's really nice, too, to have players that have gone through the program most recently because they're so relatable to the current players, so they can almost be a liaison between the players and the coaching staff to really give the scoop when things are going on in the team. It's nice to have that buffer of somebody that's not necessarily the coach if you're going through stuff to just kind of bounce things off of, and really nice job for her to be in that role.
Especially with how young Iowa is. They had 3 players opt out when the fall season got moved to the spring. All of them were seniors, so Vicki Brown, not only a young head coach, in her early to mid-30s, but she's got a very young team, too.
Yeah, I love the way that Vicki Brown runs her team. She talks a lot about empowerment and delegating the leadership across the board for Iowa, which I really respect. I think it's really empowering for these athletes to be able to take a lead on that. And lots of good things to come for Iowa.
Told you earlier, she played at Illinois, was on the staff for 2 years as the associate head coach before taking the job for the 2019 season. And an ace serve for Nebraska. And they've taken all 3 points out of the timeout. Lexi Sun with the ace to put them up 5.
Really, to me, the second set where the tides have changed was Nebraska taking over that serve and pass battle.
Final timeout for Iowa here in the second set. They had it within 1, then 2, then Nebraska took a timeout, and they've scored 3 in a row.
Yeah, really, I think Lauren Stivrins did a nice job of leading the serving front. I think at the very early onset of this set, she really carried that load, and then Nebraska's been able to build some momentum on the serving front.
All right, well, we got a chance to show you the weekly awards in the Big Ten. You got Michigan repped, Minnesota, and Penn State and Ohio State as well. We saw Regan Pittman a couple weeks ago, and she's a terrific server, Michelle, but also puts up a really good block there at Minnesota.
Yeah, she's, talk about trying to hit against brick walls. She's one of them in the Big Ten. She's so good, so athletic, and then having that veteran presence to you, you just know things as an older player. You can read tendencies quicker. You're more intuitive on the court. She's got such a good court presence. And then, of course, give credit to Ohio State this season. How about it? The Buckeyes are really catching fire and beating teams that traditionally they haven't beaten a really long time, and they're really taking control of the Big Ten, and you love to see it. First couple of wins like that, everyone's like, oh, maybe it was an anomaly, and they said, no, it's not. We're going to do it all season long. Watch us. I love it. Love to see it.
New coach, and Nebraska learned just how much Ohio State loves to play 5 sets over the weekend.
Yes.
seems like all their matches are nail biters.
Yeah, that's the best part. They'll grind you. They'll grind you down until they win that game, and you love to watch it. It's so much fun. Makes it that much more interesting.
Ohio State 1 ahead of Nebraska in the loss column. Nebraska technically in 4th right now at 10-2. Wisconsin, Ohio State, Minnesota, the 3 they're chasing. And timeout for Iowa works. They go right back to Courtney Bizzario.
Smart choice. Why wouldn't you? She's been so good all night. 6 kills for her so far. And she's efficient. Only 1 error. 7 kills.
And getting into that triple-double range. She has 4 triple-doubles previously in her career.
She's been so good on defense.
Lucky 7s across the board for her.
Yeah.
Kathy was turned away, and Maya Jones stuffs her.
I love it. Iowa's not backing down, no matter what the score is, no matter what the circumstance. It's a great block by Maya Jones. Smart play.
Maddie Slagle. Short. Sun was there. Boyer with first contact. And Bizzario snuck it inside the white. So 3-0 run. Yeah, 3-0 run by Nebraska. 3 in a row now for Iowa.
That's a solid run, too. And the game plan, keep feeding Courtney Bizzario wherever she is, on the outside, on the right side. I mean, that's what at the beginning of the show, Connor, versatility. This girl's hitting, she could probably hit out of the middle, too, if she wanted.
But Jones got hands on it, but Nebraska brings up set point.
Well, a valiant effort there to push Nebraska the final run. Never say never to this Iowa team.
fend off a couple of set points to come back. Kenzie Knuckles with the service. Ortega brought it back. And then Jones sent it sailing out. So it was teetering a little bit again for Nebraska. Iowa kept it close. They had it with one in the middle of the set, but Nebraska with that 3-point surge goes into intermission. Up 2-0. On the Big Ten Network, the women's soccer doubleheader gets underway with the Huskers in action against the Illini. Then it's Minnesota battling Penn State. It's all tomorrow on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Back at Extreme Arena in Coralville, Iowa. First match on Big Ten Network in this venue. And Connor Onion with Michelle McMahon. Michelle, let's check out some of the distribution from Nicklin Hames putting Nebraska 2-0.
Yeah, we talked about it in the open. Well, what was she going to do? Was she going to continue to set the outsides primarily, or is she going to continue to get the middles and the right sides involved? And so far, I think obviously it's been a little bit reliant on the outside attacking position, but they are getting some contribution from Jazz Sweet on the right side. Of course, Lauren Stiveren's so good off of 1 foot, and she's getting Kathy going a lot too. I'd love to see a little bit more balls going to their middles and their right side right now just to get that practice, but they have to have the pass there to get it there as well.
And Courtney Pizzario is in triple-double range right now.
Yeah, she's really doing a nice job. Whatever position she's playing, whatever area of the game she's focusing on, she's got a hammer of an arm swing in the front row, but then keep a lookout for her on defense also. We've seen her covering the floor more than some of the DSs and the liberos in this matchup. She does a really good job setting, putting her hitters in the best position to succeed. I mean, there's nothing more you can ask for from one of your athletes on the team. She's 6'5". She can play defense. She can hit the ball well. She can set the ball well and serve the ball well. Really, she's truly like a versatile volleyball player, and you love to see it.
Got some experience against Nebraska last year, setting in the 6-2, and the center last year, Bree Orr, had a concussion and had a triple-double last year, too. It came against Nebraska, and she's, 2 kills, 3 digs, 3 assists away from her 5th career triple-double tonight.
Yeah, and just because she, found out kind of last minute about you're going to be setting this year too, by the way, with the last minute opt-outs and really the way she's been able to roll with whatever role her coach puts her in. Just says a lot about her character. She obviously has high integrity. She's a good teammate. She wants what's best for Iowa volleyball to win. And you just really like to see athletes like that across the board, especially at this level. Especially because a player like her could really probably play wherever she wanted.
Right. And imagine what she could do if she was just on the pins, but doing a lot right now. Here's a look at the updated Big Ten standings. Told you Nebraska 2 back in the loss column of Wisconsin. And Nebraska right now can't really afford to have any cancellations with those teams above them. They need those teams to play.
Yeah.
They need to win, and they need those teams to lose.
Kind of a problem right now for them. Bit of a predicament.
So trying to take care of the first of their 6 down the stretch and then get some help elsewhere tonight. Nebraska took the first 2. And Lauren Stivrins begins set 3 with a kill.
I love that sequence by Nicklin Hames. It's as if she was listening to us of what the distribution conversation was. First, she goes to Jazz Sweet on the pin, on the opposite attacking position, and then she goes to Lauren Stivrins out of the front row. You can see the Iowa block just a half-second late on that because their first reaction is to go to the outside pin because they know that's where a majority of the balls are going.
3,000 assists in her career and climbing. She moved into 8th place tonight. She has a chance with a couple more assists to move into 7th. A name Huskers fans love dearly. Next up on that list, Lauren Cook is 2 above Hames right now on the Nebraska all-time assist leaderboard.
That's one of the things they've been working on in the gym with Nicklin Hames. Comparing to Lauren Cook, to your point, Connor, was one of the reasons Lauren Cook was so good as a setter. I was there when we played against her and when she was at Nebraska. She's so good at getting to balls wherever they are, and her consistency with the placement of where she's setting the ball. She could be setting from her knees, she could be setting running off the court, and mechanically speaking, that's what they've been working with Nicklin Hames a lot on this year. When we asked Coach to dive a little bit deeper on the mechanics, what they've been working with her with, he said that conversation could go on for an hour, but Nicklin Hames so dedicated to getting better, so dedicated to improving. And Lauren Cook, I'm sure, has been a huge part of that.
After a blood timeout, Kubik had blood on her jersey.
Blood, sweat, and tears, Connor.
That's right.
Whatever it takes.
How do you catch that with the red jerseys? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. It's a keen eye.
Yeah. So Kalea Akana serving with Nebraska up 2 early in set 3. And Bazario to the back, her 9th kill.
Yeah, Lauren Stiveren's a little bit late on that block. If I'm her, I'm going to camp out and cheat one step towards Courtney Bazario, who's been lighting it up, really their primary attacker. She's gotten the majority of their offense. Their outside attackers have been where Iowa's been going majority of this game.
Kubik got the blood cleaned up and has a kill.
Perfect segue there, Connor. Love this swing by Maddie Kubik. Smart play, too, because Amaya Jones from Iowa in that middle back position is a middle blocker, so her natural environment is not in the back row as a defensive player. She knows that, Maddie Kubik. She's really smart, and she goes there and exposes that.
Bazario too heavy. Have not seen her misfire much tonight. That's just her second error on 18 swings. She's hitting close to 400. 9 kills, 7 assists, 7 digs. For Vicki Brown's junior setter, Courtney Bazario. Little mishandle there on the serve for Iowa, and tucked back in by Hames.
Smart play by Hames. That's what aggressive serving is going to get you on Nebraska's side.
You hear John Cook say it a lot. We got to thump our serves.
And thump is a correct, accurate description. You can hear the thump coming off of their hands when they're serving.
And that was one of the elements of disappointment from last weekend in the loss, was they weren't aggressive enough. But some aggressive serving here has put Nebraska up 5, in command already, up 2 sets to none.
And this is the Nebraska volleyball we're used to seeing. A little bit slow there in the first 2 sets. I sense some jump in this third. Energy's a little bit higher. They've got their legs under them. They're in a groove.
Lexi Sun got the big setup from Hames. Iowa back to black. Black off the net this time, and Knuckles down to the floor to keep it up. Then Stiveren's wrapping around, but Ortega with good work. And then mistimed by Clayton.
So fun to watch Lauren Stiveren's on that slide attack. Every time it seems like she does something creative with it. I mean, just her footwork, her ability to slice the ball, and then to jump back in with both hands across the net on the block. She's such an incredible athlete.
It took about half a second for her to recover from the pin all the way to the middle of the net.
If that.
Coming up on the Big Ten Network, The Big Show delivers highlights, in-depth analysis, and all the news from around the conference. That's coming up next on the Big Ten Network. Sure, some talk with the NCAA tournament and men's and women's basketball getting kicked off at the end of this week. Will be highly covered. 6-point lead for Nebraska. Strong start to set 3 after kind of meandered around in the first couple of sets, allowed Iowa to hang in, but Iowa with a good response kill for Black out of the timeout.
Looks like we're going to have a bloody nose situation for Aujibak, too. She's playing through some adversity over there. Had a great swing to finish it off for Iowa. Right on the line.
What's been, yeah, you said before, been physical at the net. It's been tougher in digs in the back row.
Yeah, the defense has been really good on both sides.
And that's in for Hannah Clayton.
Love that arm swing by Hannah Clayton. She's so long with that swing, finds the deep corner. It's a nice set, too, by Courtney Bazario. That's one of the luxuries, too, of having a taller setter in that situation, because she's approaching in and really, it's just a flick of a wrist for Courtney. She's so tall, she's barely having to touch that ball out of her hands.
And Stivrins long. No, she got a touch on that. So Nebraska stops the midi run for Iowa.
And then this lethal serve. Once again, watch the ball as she's contacting it while she's serving this. Watch the pop first off of her hand, and then watch how it drifts through the air and sucks the passer in. Woo!
Right there.
It's a missile. Ooh, nice dig, okay.
Stivrins after the serve down to the floor.
That'll get the bench going with the middle blocker sprawling out. Remember, we were talking about that on the other side. You see? Look how happy they are for her. That's an attention grabber when your middle back is a middle blocker and she's sprawling out with the one arm. You see the bench getting fired up?
Well, you said your teammate was called Polar Bear. She's too fast.
No, Connor, it was the Polar Bear.
The Polar Bear.
It was a move specifically for when she was in the back row. That would be considered a Polar Bear.
Gotcha. That's like the Ohio State. It's the Polar Bear.
Yeah, when you sprawl with your arms and your legs kick back, she thought she looked like a Polar Bear for whatever reason. Courtney Fletcher is my teammate's name, in case you're curious.
Okay, put it on record.
Shout out to Courtney Fletcher and the Polar Bear. She trademarked it, I'm pretty sure, back in the old day.
There's Caffey coming around. Sun caught on the tape there. And Caffey with the swipe.
Love that last minute adjustment by Caffey. She was pulled off the net. She, meaning Nicklin Hames, does a nice job feeding that ball right to her middle attacker. Caffey's still approaching in hard. Knew she couldn't swing at it, so she grabbed it with a tip. Very smart.
Seeing the ticker trending up for Caffey. Grad transfer from Missouri. Had an injury when she was at Missouri. Maybe just getting going now at the middle.
Yes, I love that set. That's the set we're looking for, Connor. For Nicklin Hames to use Jazz Sweet on that right side attacking position. Still got to get a smile out of her tonight, but look at this. What a play. That is a great set. Reversing the flow, Nicklin Hames. The easy option is to go outside on that. She reverses it. She sees the blocker on Iowa's side for a half second, cheating to the outside. Love that set.
Some of the new mechanics for Nicklin Hames this year as Reeds puts one down to the floor. We were talking to John Cook yesterday about the new technique for Hames, and as you said before, that's an hour conversation. We asked why. I mean, all-American type setter, all first-team Big Ten.
Right.
He bluntly said 0-9 against Wisconsin. End of answer. And that was the record for Nebraska in their 3 matches last year against Wisconsin. Played them twice in the regular season as Wisconsin took the regular season crown, and then in the Elite Eight, lost in straight sets too. That was enough to basically change the life and the training of Nicklin Hames and how she was going to approach this offseason.
Which is pretty wild to think about, but that is the mentality that makes Nebraska volleyball so good. Ooh, that was a good serve. That one tailed off. Did you see that? Look at it. Watch it tail off at the last second. Boom.
That's a screwball.
Yeah, it is, because you think it's going deep, and that's the problem with that float serve, is it can drop off at any second. Topspin, you know where it's going, and you know it's going to drop in front of you. Float, it can either float up on you or float back on you. That time it floated up on the passer, so she had to just up. Sometimes it floats and it drops, and you have no chance.
And basically equally as effective that time for Lexi Sun.
Yeah. So that's the dynamic nature of this float serve, is you can adjust your arm swing so you can either drop the float serve in front of the passer's feet, or you could pop it up where it's at towards their shoulder. With either way, you're going to cause a mismatch from a passing standpoint.
A roll there from Schmidt as she was falling away. Native of Berlin, Germany. Adina Schmidt. Oh, there's Caffey getting up.
is an arm swing coming out of nowhere. Her approach started from the right side of the court. She was next to Jazz Sweet. The Iowa block, I mean, Amaya Jones was at least up in the play, but the rest of the Iowa blockers had no clue what was coming. And that was a great play call by Nicklin Hames. And a great finish for Kathy.
Stivrins out of the middle from Hames, and back-to-back kills by the middles. First Caffey, now Stivrins.
And the distribution. This set has been really good for Nicklin Hames. Significant improvement.
So Nebraska fans are saying this is more like it. Up 10, trying to sweep the Hawkeyes. So Nebraska by 10 in set 3, trying to sweep the Hawkeyes before heading back home and matching up with them again. And we got dogs.
Hank the tank. Hank the tank. Hank loves wearing red while watching. I love it. Look at the discipline of these dogs, by the way. Someone is extra exhausted after being at doggy daycare all day, but Bella never misses watching Nebraska volleyball. Okay, let's go. Not a dog, but hey, we'll take it. Look at the pajama set up there. I want those pajamas. Go Big Red. The girls are excited. Aw, look at those little volleyballers.
And there's Madden.
The newest addition to the Cook family. Oh, look at how sweet. He's a grandpa. Congrats, John Cook and Lauren Cook. Beautiful baby. Love to see it. Life beyond sports, you know? Puts things into perspective.
We were wondering if, maybe that softened up John Cook a little bit. He had lost a little edge. But I said, no way. no chance.
Nope.
So Nebraska continues to roll with Kubik, and you were... Oh, no, that was... Nice point, Iowa there. We get Nebraska into the net. Yeah, you were bringing up the distribution numbers. Nebraska will challenge this. But this is more like it in this third set with the balance, with Hames mixing it around now to her hitter.
Yeah, and granted, Nicklin Hames has better passing to work with. You know, you could only do so much as a setter if your passes are at the 10-foot line or behind you or all the way across the net. Because when you're in a one-option situation, you can really only go to the outside. Here's what they're challenging, though, on the pin. Maddie Kubik feels like she got a touch. It looks like Courtney Bizarro looked a little guilty to me. Like sometimes half these reviews, you can really look at the reactions and tell. But 6'5", it's hard not to get a touch on that. But honestly, I didn't really see any extra movement. Let's see. Oh,
maybe that right hand.
Yeah, that right middle finger looks like she didn't really. Yeah, she kind of pulled it down. Like yeah. Oh yeah, she did. She admitted to fault. It looked like. I mean, you can't go off of that, obviously. The ref has to go off of what they see completely and indisputably with the evidence, so to speak.
Well, also the body language from Nebraska led you to believe that was a touch all the way.
When you're up there with, I mean, you're really the only two people that know. Yeah, there's a touch on that for sure. The only two people that really have the best angle at it are the two people, the person that's blocking and the one that's hitting. And when you're up in the air, you can really see it at a closer angle.
Those are the numbers we were just talking about with the distribution.
And prior to this set, Stivrins, Sweet, and Caffey had significantly lower attempts, and that has significantly evened out in this one. You can tell they went in the locker room and said, listen, let's get our passing back on track. Let's keep balancing the offense. And that's what Nicklin Hames has been able to do because the passing's been better.
And they're hitting almost 600 in the set.
So, perfect example. That situation, Nicklin Hames has no option other than to just throw it high outside. Iowa's camping out on that every single time. That's a perfect double blocking situation. No fault to Lexi Sun. It's a tough dig to make, but this is a 1.0 passing situation that we talk about a lot. 3.0, 2.0, 1.0. That's a 1.0 pass. She only has one attack option to go to, and that's what Nebraska wants to get away from. So the passing starts that sequence of Nicklin Hames being able to be more balanced offensively.
Yeah, on the topic of balance, it was Amaya Jones that had the block for Iowa, and that was the descriptor that Vicki Brown, her head coach, used for it, is she's a good balancer, does a good job bringing it both on the attack and defensively. Jones also one of the the vocal leaders for Iowa, the junior class, being forced to lead them with the 3 senior opt-outs for the Hawkeyes. Jones got the swing off there, but Stivrins rejects that. There's a smile you're looking for.
There it is. Lauren Stivrins seems to be hitting her stride and really playing and having fun. I mean, when you're rounding out your career, you kind of have to, right? Just make the most of it. Starts to get real towards the end of your senior year of this could end at any moment, especially this season.
Right. All right, Stivrins went over 1,000 kills in her career over the weekend against Ohio State. All the accolades, 3-time All-American, 1,000 kills. John Cook said the most impressive thing she's done? Graduate. Why? I don't know if she likes school that much. But she did it.
Hey, school's not for everyone. And she's taken quite a few people to school in volleyball, I'll tell you that much. And good for her. Congrats for graduating.
Masterclass, Lauren Stivrins. And the Huskers have commanded this third set after Iowa played them close in the first 2 sets. So Iowa takes the point. They'll try to trim it in half on this following point. Here's what's coming up. Rematch in Lincoln on Saturday. And then a tough end to the schedule for Nebraska. They'll go to Ann Arbor. And then they get the 12th ranked Nittany Lions to close it out on the final weekend.
Well, you're not necessarily going to need your 7th man to get up for the Penn State-Nebraska rivalry game. Although it will be different without as many fans in the crowd. That's going to be one you want to circle on your calendar. That's going to be a fun game to watch.
Remember, Nebraska 2 behind Wisconsin in the loss column, 6 to play, including tonight. And it looks like with 5 to play, they're going to be 11-2. Ani Evans in there for Nebraska. Saw her most significant action against Ohio State. 3 sets played in both of those matches. Hames and Knuckles go out. And that is out on the wraparound by Clayton. Vicki Brown and Iowa on to Lincoln for the rematch on Saturday. And this is the final match that they'll play this year in Extreme Arena. They'll close out at Carver Hawkeye Arena with Michigan State with their home schedule. And that's a tough ask with their final 3 road matches. 2 top 5 opponents. We'll go to Minnesota and face the Gophers, who are still in hunt for the title as well. Good block put up there by Black and Clayton.
Still love the intensity on Iowa's side despite trailing by 12 points in this one. That was an excellent block for Iowa. In sync, established across the court. Really love what I've been seeing from Hannah Clayton out of the middle here tonight. Coach says she's a very determined player, has always come in with the mindset of getting better, has grown so much since freshman year. Really fun player to watch. Bright future ahead for her, too.
Former gymnast. She was a gymnast in high school.
That footwork will help you in the blocking position.
That one thuds off Schmidt. And Kubik and Nebraska 2 points away from the sweep. Hames is back in there to serve to try to put this match away for Nebraska. Get them to 11-2. Remain undefeated against Iowa. And a chip of the block for Blythe Greens.
Blythe Greens has had some nice swings here tonight on that pin. Really smart player, good at seeing the block, great court vision.
And a natural middle, too. They moved her out to the pin. They're hoping to get Kendra Hansen back at some point, but injuries have forced her out there. And match point coming up here after Cappy puts one to the floor. Be Lexi's son to tee it off. Coming downhill, kept up by Schmidt. And that's short, and that does it. So Nebraska wins it in straight sets. They're now 32-0 all-time against the Iowa Hawkeyes. And another one in straight sets, 29-32, have come in 3. And they've done it again on the road tonight.
Yeah, I think this is a good confidence boost for Nebraska coming off that loss to Ohio State. I feel like they maybe felt like they achieved redemption here tonight. They feel like they're a more full squad. I like the distribution that I saw from Nicklin Hames tonight. That's going to be promising for John Cook to look back on the tape. And all in all, Nebraska volleyball just getting their wheels back on.
And Nebraska head coach John Cook said he showed his team videos of draft horses pulling sleds through snow this week. They had to trudge through that snow in the first couple of sets, but they win it in 3 tonight. That's Michelle McMahon. I'm Connor Onion. We say so long from Extreme Arena. It's a 3-set win for the 5th-ranked Cornhuskers. Thanks for watching, and good night, Coralville, Iowa.